Good evening chaps, welcome back, Broadbent here. Today we're going to be covering the 0.64 update for the Forest. We're going to be going over the major changes for this update, and I can tell you guys have already waited long enough for this, so let's not waste any more time and get straight into it. So the most important and most noticeable change in this update is they've added the first pass of achievements. You can find these in the Steam library when you select your game. Now these do range from absolutely hilarious to downright stupid, so do take a moment to read through these, because you will get a laugh out of it. The Survival Book main menu index page has had a slight little change. When you hover over a tab, it will now glow a different colour, so you can easily tell which one you are about to click. They've added 6 new collectible VHS tapes that can be found around the world that can be also combined with the camcorder added in the previous update. Now I'm not going to be showing those tapes in this video because they will spoil a lot of the story for those who haven't played it already. There was a small issue with the crane in the last update where it would not ignore collision properly after locking the first point, however this has been fixed. So for dedicated servers, they have fixed the bug where all the game options such as tree regrow mode and allow building destruction will be reset when you load the game, however that has been fixed now. You can no longer place walls and fences going through trees. Now this isn't very clear, you can see it doesn't go red, it actually is still white, however you can't place it down once going through the tree. They've updated the machete sound effects to match other similar weapons. The flintlock pistol now has a bullet impact sound effect for plants, mutants, animals, and other types of world objects. You know, you can find little random life buoys around the world? Well, they now have a proper impact sound effect. So when the machete was brought into the game last update, you weren't able to upgrade it, however it did show an option to do so. Well, now that has been fixed, you can upgrade it with teeth, boos, and feathers. The machete now only takes one hit to take down those small bushes which give you sticks, which is a great change. You can also use the machete to chop trees, but I wouldn't recommend it. So when the crane was brought into the game last update, you could get it stuck at the top if you jumped off. Well, now they've added a rope at the bottom that will allow you to pull it down from the bottom. The pedometer no longer shows previous steps counted when you didn't have the pedometer. It will now only show the steps you've walked since you've had the pedometer in your backpack. So you can finally breed rabbits to collect rabbit fur. If you go ahead and pick a rabbit out of a cage and left click, it will now drop the rabbit to the floor, so essentially you're just snapping its neck in your hands. This will then allow you to go ahead and skin it and get the skin and meat in return. They've gone ahead and revisited Cave 10 to give it a bit more polish. They've also added a few more translation options, and this for... How do you pronounce this? Okay Google, how to pronounce Czech?
Czech.
Really? Well, I'm glad I checked that one. They've added Czech, Italian, Polish, Finnish, Swedish, and Turkish. Wow. The Deadfall Trap had a few visibility issues when viewing from certain angles. That has now been fixed. The passenger manifest will now properly cross off passengers. They have finally fixed the audio bug with the log sled. Previously, if you built it in a certain location and then moved it to another, it will no longer play the sound where you have moved the log sled to. It would always play it to where you built it. But that has been fixed. Also in the last update, the log sled was completely unusable when going uphill, you had to walk backwards, but now the movement has been fixed. Previously in the main menu and save screen, the timestamp and days survived was incorrect. I actually noticed this as well in my survival series, where the date displayed was longer than the amount of days survived in-game. However, that has been fixed now. They've fixed an issue with tree stumps in older saves, where in a newer build of the game they weren't destroyable, but now they are. They have finally fixed the disappearing spears bug, where if you threw a spear at a deer, for example, it would just disappear. What was happening is just losing collision, but now that has been fixed. They have fixed a bug where the attack input was getting locked after changing a weapon after shooting the flintlock pistol, but this has been fixed. The zipline's nav mesh has now been fixed. Previously, on one side, you wouldn't be able to put lamps on it, for example, or you could place lamps through it, but that has been fixed now. The rope on the zipline blueprint will now cover the entire length. One of the small campsite had purple pots, but now that has been fixed. The blueprints for the temporary shelter, log cabin, and skull lamps all appeared as white, no matter what colour you had it set to, but that has now been fixed. This next fix did baffle me. It says here that they fixed an issue with drinking water from extreme edges of a water line. Not really sure where that was talking about, but that has now been fixed. If you change the terrain quality before launching the game, it would not probably apply when you launch the game. However, now that has been fixed. For some reason, you could not play Cassette Tape 5, but now you can combine it with the Walkman successfully. You can no longer go flying into the air like some sort of god when you place down a body on a log sled. At some of the campsites, there were some wrongly scaled bodies, and I assume these are the burnt ones, and they have been placed in normal size now. And they have finally fixed a few of the issues with the crafting recipe for Timmy's toy. If you combine the head and the torso, it would combine them, but then when you went to combine them again, they would be individual, like it never combined. It was completely broken, but now that has been fixed. I assume they fix this now because soon they are going to be adding in the rest of the items needed to craft the full toy. Alright everyone, so that sums up the major changes for the 0.64 update for the forest. If you guys enjoyed this video or found it helpful, make sure to leave a like on the video. And if you're not already, make sure to subscribe on your way out. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you in the next video.